we are waiting on Miss Sasha. So while we wait, we figured we just let y'all see the behind the scenes, what we do when we're hanging out, just waiting. Getting prepped.
Taking notes, getting everything together.
Oh, here she comes now. I know she's gonna want jam too, so let's let her get in here. Flip it. Flip it. You're sideways. Mama, you're sideways.
That's how we prepare. Hey.
Hey. The whole gang is here. All right.
Yes,
we're here.
It's a party.
All right. You ready, guys? Want to start off?
How am I sounding? How am I sounding? I'm coming through. I'm sounding good. You can hear me?
Good. You good. You
all right.
You want to kick off the show for us?
We ready? Sasha, you good?
Yeah, my ring light just doesn't want to participate, so you guys get bad lighting today.
Well, no, you got a good glow going right now. You good? Thanks. Leave it where it's at. You good? Don't get frustrated. You good? It's perfect. We can see you. I see you.
We see you. We here. Y'all here for us. So let's start the show because we are late. I'm sorry, guys.
Yes, we're started.
This.
You got this, or?
Yeah, give me 1 sec. All right. This is SafeWord, a platform for teaching, learning, and opening the eyes of our audience to the world of kink and Bdsm. I am your host, Remy DeBow.
And I am your second host, Aurora Storm.
What it is, y'all. I'm your co-host, Kane Marcos.
And I'm your second co-host, Miss Sasha Lyncher.
So if you watched our last video, it was on CNC, and today we are going to be talking about that.
So the link for that video is in the description below.
And if you're watching, do us a favor and don't forget to like and subscribe and tell a friend.
Yes.
A friend to tell a friend.
So if you watch our show, this is SafeWord. And on SafeWord, we have a SafeWord of the day. We use this SafeWord of the day to completely stop, halt, and put a pause. Just cut it, cut it. It stops everything. All right, so crew, what is our SafeWord of the day that we are going to use to interrupt each other? 1, 2, 3.
Consent.
Consent.
That was actually a little bit better. We get
No, it wasn't. It really wasn't. No, it was horrible.
At least you knew it this time.
Like, go team, go.
At least you knew it this time, Ren.
No. I didn't like it. No.
So use this word if someone is talking too much, you want the floor back, you're tired of what that person is saying, it's getting a little raunchy or hot in here, you don't want to hear it, say the safe word. If you cannot be heard, because we are on Zoom and we do have some technical issues, we have a hand signal that we use here at SafeWord. Crew, would you like to show them what that is? There you go. So if you're saying the safe word, you cannot be heard and no one's stopping, throw up the hand signal so that everybody can see it, and then make sure that you say the safe word, which is consent, so everybody knows. All right, so today is a little bit different. We are going to be talking about CNC, which is consensual non-consent, right? And I just wanted to open up the discussion with talking about why it gets such a bad rap, and that's because it's closely associated with a fantasy or fetish of rape fantasy, like a rape role-playing fantasy. And so a lot of times that's attached to CNC. And so I guess my question is, what is CNC, first of all? You know, like, what is it? Let's break it down. And then why do you think that CNC is immediately associated with this fantasy or this fetish?
So I'm gonna go ahead and just bring us back real fast.
Oh yeah, that's right. My bad. Oh, kink news. My bad.
So everybody's a little bit nervous. Everybody's a little bit shy to like kind of approach this topic in an open forum. Since
not nervous.
No.
It does have a lot of negative connotation with it, and it is kind of like walking on eggshells. So nerves are a little on edge. So Miss Aurora can be forgiven for skipping over the hot topics of the day.
Totally forgot about hot topics. I just cut it's cut from the show tonight.
I didn't forget, Kane. I didn't. I was here for you.
Getting brownie points for fucking.
I was here for you. Don't worry.
I got you.
It's
I
all
thank
right.
you.
You stay over there, Miss Aurora.
You got me.
No,
Hey.
no.
Mm-mm.
Hey,
Mr.
give
Kane.
me some love. Give me some love. Come on.
Right.
Come on, give me some love.
He's
Hey.
high five.
There we go. There we go.
Okay.
We'll get
Alright.
that situated
Oh, you're
again.
diagonal. You're right.
Yeah.
On YouTube, it's diagonal.
I used the brain.
And the
I
script.
don't. Not today.
Area 404. No, so something actually a little interesting to discuss in the Kink Hot Topics today. And it's funny because in a recent survey among 2,381 couples over the age of 60, it was discovered that kink is the most popular, or BDSM is the most popular kink among senior citizens. And so, but the survey was conducted by Yahoo, and it only matters to people who still use Yahoo. But it's kind of cool to think that, you know, on that search engine alone, there's a lot of, you know, just older people, you know, grandma, grandpa, you know, at the nursing home. I just want you to think about that. Just let that haunt your dreams tonight. You know, if they got internet access, just
hey, everybody needs
Wait,
everybody needs love. That's what I'm just saying.
Wait, let's think about why this is. You know what I mean? You know why that is?
Because they've been together too damn long.
Nah. What if they haven't? You know what I'm saying? They met in the senior citizens' home. You know, just think about it. Kids is gone and grown. You know what I mean? They finally get to do whatever the heck they want to do without any, you know, no consequences or repercussions or nobody judging. Oh, that's just crazy old grandpa.
All them repressed feelings from the 80s.
Crazy old grandpa.
You know what I'm saying?
At a certain age, I know, like, every 10 years I feel a little bit more liberated. So I'm sure by the time I'm 70, I would try anything at that point. Right. So I mean, you'd get bored with yourself.
That is basically the demographic. It's also the demographic for sexually transmitted diseases. So it's the highest demographic. So
that's a scary thought.
And it's just because of a lack of education. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they grew up in a different era. So
that's true.
Yeah.
They still call condoms Jimmys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but coming in second place was age play. So I guess that works in reverse in this instance. And third was group sex.
Oh, I can see that.
Top internet searches, top 3 internet searches for people over the age of 60. And as a perfect example, there is a Mistress Sophia out of the UK, legal name is Sherry Lever. She is 69 years old and she is a thriving dominatrix.
That's what I'm talking about.
So she was a chef. She was married for 25 years. And after her divorce, she decided to start operating a phone sex chat line. Found out that a lot of people that call into those lines are looking for domination, and she had a natural knack for it. And so she moved into dominatrix. And I thought that was cool. I was reading up on that, and it was right underneath the story about people over 60. So 69 years old, dominatrix.
Many wives have a knack for that.
She said, let it out. I'm single and ready to mingle.
Here's the thing. You're going to be all Spencer. Do you, honey? Do you be?
She said, I'm not a Spencer. I'm an old queen, honey.
Yeah, exactly.
She getting to it.
I'm here for it.
So they posted her Instagram. I'm going to try and reach out and see if we can get like an interview or something with her. Because that would be,
ma'am.
That would be cool.
Awesome. Yep. I would love to get into work on that, King.
Definitely. Yeah, I'll reach out. If not just for the show, for myself.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. I was always down to learn something new.
Right.
All right. And so last but not least, and it goes in line with the topics of tonight, which Aurora's already kind of, given away. But it is, a lot of research is going into looking at BDSM as a coping mechanism for trauma. And woo.
Ooh, that was some feedback.
God.
It sound like
if I was tripping, that would have been so bad.
Yeah.
That was like
word, that was a whole, it sounded like me talking.
Oh man, I'm so glad I didn't drop acid tonight.
Yeah, please, okay. If you're under 18, please jump off this channel right now. The safe word off.
Hey, it wasn't Remy.
Not this time. And the show just started. You have plenty of time.
Oh yes, we do.
That's one train that's never late. It's not if, it's when.
So you were finishing that story.
Yeah, just a lot of research going into looking at BDSM as a coping mechanism for trauma. And us here at SafeWord, you know, I think it goes without saying that this is not the recommended method of coping with trauma. There's a lot of other modalities that belong in the therapeutic arena that can help with trauma. This is just something that, you know, a lot of research has gone into, and it's looking at it and it's starting to gain some traction because it's proven to be a somewhat an effective method. Doesn't mean that we condone it. Doesn't mean that, hey, you know what, if you're dealing with trauma, go out and try BDSM. That might make things worse. So full disclaimer, it's working for some people, might not work for everybody, but it's interesting to see that BDSM has more than just one avenue that, you know, it helps people with. So with that being said, we're getting into some hefty, meaty topics tonight. So Miss Aurora.
Well, and that's just it. Like, I love that you introed it like that, because is it really that heavy? Okay, because like what I said before, if you tuned into the beginning, I already went through this spiel. So it's closely associated with, or immediately that's what comes to mind, is that fantasy or that fetish of rape scenarios, you know, rape play. So, I mean, what I wanted to talk about today is, what is CNC? You know, can we kind of give our own interpretations of what CNC is, actually say what it is, you know, and kind of just explain that piece of it. And then why do you think that it gets this bad rap? And is it, you know, is it just that? Does CNC and rape fantasies go together? Are those the two things, you know?
All right, so is that your question? Or?
So what is
that
CNC,
right? Is that the question?
why
Or
does it get bad rap?
okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know, honestly, I kind of I categorize consensual non-consent as extreme play. I mean, I know a lot of other people will disagree, and it's up for debate. But for me, you know, just to always take that careful first, second, third precaution, I always classify it as an extreme play, not so much for the physical trauma that can occur, but the emotional and the mental trauma that it can bring about. Even though it's a play scene, even though it's negotiated, I mean, I feel like it's tethering a very fine line, you know, with one or the other. And if you know what you're doing, and if you do everything right, it's less likely to happen. It's just not completely out of the question. So I always like to keep in the back of my mind that this is, in some form or fashion, a method of extreme play. So
Okay. So that's your take on that. So what do you think, Rem?
Rape play and consensual non-consent it can be considered the same. It's kind of tricky, but it can also be two different things, because rape play fantasies it's like you're really acting out a scene. But when it comes to like consensual non-consent as a dom sub relationship, you kind of have those permissions in a way, to depending on how long you've been with the person, to kind of go over their head when it comes to something, because ultimately they want to serve you, and not all of the things that they want to do is something that they want to do.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Miss Sasha, I know that you can maybe even break down, like, you know, from your point of view and how you see it, that kind of thing, and kind of what CNC is. Maybe even have you experienced CNC, you know?
Seeing
Uh-oh, we're losing your audio. Or losing your audio.
one.
uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Right.
Yep.
See,
Uh-oh.
huh?
Yeah, she got to readjust.
Yeah, we'll wait for her to readjust, because I do want to touch on this. And we've got some feedback on. So, I mean, I'll just fill in for like my piece of it, and then if Sasha gets hers back up, I definitely want to ask her. So for me, like, CNC doesn't necessarily fall into place with that fetish or fantasy. Yes, that's a piece of it, but a lot of times consensual non-consent, yeah, I mean, that's something that can be done in a total power exchange. That's something that can be done if you have a slave or a sub. And that sub or that slave, I mean, through a very lengthy process, you come to an agreement on what they're willing to not, to give up.
When you're pushing limits, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of consensual non-consent. You know what I'm saying? When you're pushing limits to anything, when it comes to your sub, that consensual non-consent. Because but understand, no means no.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But
well, that's the thing with consensual non-consent, like that's part of the negotiations is no, like the safe word means no, no means yes, because I mean, that's part of the point. You're going into consensual non-consent. You're consenting that the non-consent that you're giving is actually consent. It's the yes means no, up means down, and safe word means stop. So I think that's what it comes down to is just having a safe word and having negotiations in place to ensure that, the scene doesn't get out of hand.
Right. So Sasha, I want you to break down your ideas on this because your audio is going. So let's give her a chance to speak.
I would say my take would be consensual non-consent it can get a bad rap because if you're just trying to please and you don't necessarily want to displease who you're with, it could be triggering. And if it's not negotiated, I guess, appropriately or honestly by both parts, then it can get out of hand. And if one person isn't mentally prepared, maybe they have past trauma, it has to be handled super delicately. So it could definitely make someone spiral and like totally go downhill really quick. So I think that's why it gets a bad rap, because it can be really, really triggering. Whether it's done right or not, it could still, if you don't have that one little piece of something worked out and you get grabbed the wrong way or talked to in a certain tone, then it's like, whoa. So it's, I almost feel like a little bit of a backstory or a little bit of a connectivity. Why do we want to do this is kind of important. And like almost asking, like, are you practicing this out of any release of something? Because then that may help both parties get on the same page. Because
Right, exactly. So yeah, I mean, just to kind of fill in, I don't think that necessarily CNC should have the bad rap that it gets. I mean, that fantasy, that fetish falls into CNC, but I don't think that that's all of it, because I mean, if you're giving up you're in this agreement beforehand and you come to a mutual agreement of, hey, this is what I'm willing to give up, and I don't, I can't say no or anything like that, but we'll set a safe word in place, then that's consensual non-consent, if you have a live-in, a 24/7 relationship, anything like that. So, but yeah.
We're kind of speaking from a perspective of just understanding consensual non-consent. Right. So this is like CNC 101. This, and we're not putting this information out there for you to try it this weekend, give it a go, see how it does for you. I mean, we're letting you know that this is something that exists, something that's out there, something for you to research again on your own time. You'll be able to look up this information and take from it what you will. There's probably a lot of people that we're not talking to that know what they're doing, do this all the time. And, you'll get it right first, second, even the 100th time. But it's not necessarily recommended for the vanilla. It's not something that, you want to just try amateurly. So sub it out of the box.
Right.
Sub escape.
And go check somebody.
All right. So
man, Remy just letting them roam free, letting them grab water.
We're having some issues. We're having some technical issues tonight. Okay, so Kane, you want to take Remy's question for me? Keep the show.
Yeah. So, can you practice CNC without the fantasy being involved, without the rape fantasy being involved? So, and what does that look like?
Okay, so yeah, go ahead, Sasha. Go ahead. Yeah, I see it. I saw it. She was like, and I want to hear it. So let's do it.
Consensual non-consent can be played out in like a cops and robber fantasy, a burglar fantasy. There's so many ways you can consensually.
I got stuck under the desk. under the bed.
I know he
They
just
can
get off
behave.
the show. Remy, bye. He was like, "This is getting too heavy. I'm just leaving." Okay, go ahead.
But consensual non-consent can be played out in different ways and not just in that type of fantasy. It could be a stranger. You could be a stranger, like you're somebody I don't know and you're just coming to whatever. It doesn't have to necessarily be that deep to be consensual non-consent.
So
Should I
I
answer
think
my own question?
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, because it got asked, so now, yeah,
I mean, you gotta ask now. So
yeah.
I think yes and no. I think a lot of times, a lot of people do this actually and don't even know that they do it. All right, because when your partner is asleep, they didn't give you consent. You know what I'm saying? And you decide that you want to, roll over and rub up against them and start something that, until they actually, they're unconscious pretty much. They're dead to the world. And you just gonna start doing something to them. So now that's called consensual non-consent because that's your partner. So it's automatically assumed. But if that person roll over and be like, nah, yeah, what are you doing? I don't want to do this tonight. Hey, it's not something that you're supposed to be doing. You know what I mean?
she better roll over and say the safe word.
Okay,
Couch.
so what you got for me, Kane?
Damn, couch. Hold on, can we just appreciate that for a second?
What happened?
The safe word
That
is
wife
couch.
rolling over safe word was couch. Like now. Get lost, get
Damn.
on, get out.
That's hard. That's hard.
I mean, if you're not
Wow.
respecting the tuck-in,
That
then
was
the
such a
couch is
vanilla
the-
answer.
Mm-mm. Nah.
Oh,
Mm-mm.
okay. So Kane, go
How
ahead.
about you get up and go to the
You
couch?
assigned that.
No, so I mean, I think that the rape fantasy is completely separate from consensual non-consent. It's just a subcategory. It's just one of the placings involved with the overall scheme of consensual non-consent. Like having a live-in sub who is constantly there 24/7, always on. Might get a couple hours a night of all right, safe word, go to bed. Start again in the morning.
Right.
And during that entire time when that sub is there, a lot of the things that are being done are negotiated or in the contract, but not necessarily something that they're up or apt for at the moment.
Right.
But realizing being in scene, they're going to roll with it. So maybe if you get a wild hair to go give them a good flogging, for a disciplinary action or something, maybe flogging wasn't necessarily what they had in mind. Maybe what they had in mind was being tied up. But as having relinquished control, having been, agreed to the negotiations, being a live-in sub, whatever punishment or discipline you decide to dole out is ultimately what they're going to roll with, unless it gets too extreme, then the safe word comes out.
Yeah, I mean, I
Say
think
that.
everybody pretty much answered that. I mean, I could add to it, but yeah, CNC is ultimately role-playing, consensual non-consent. I mean, it is you not going around in your daily life, being you. It's a piece of role-playing. So many things
It
could
is acting.
fall
It
into
is,
that. Yeah.
it is acting, but it's acting.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, this gives me a question. So why would someone have a fetish or a rape play like CNC? Like, what do you think would trigger someone to feel like that's a fun space to explore?
Like that fantasy. Why do they have that fantasy?
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Kane. I see you itching.
Let's not. Let's not.
No, let's just like Kane.
No. Let's not let the guy start this one off. No.
Well,
This might be our last night.
well,
Like
no,
what?
I mean, I'm not, here's the thing. To each their own on why they have their fetish or their fantasy. But I do know that, when there has been a traumatic situation like that, something where someone has been forced into something, this can actually, if they have a very trusting, very open, very communicative relationship, it's something that, if you've been with someone for a very long time, you can actually help somebody get over this trauma. BDSM helps with these kinds of things because then it's no longer associated with this was trauma, me being pushed up against the wall was trauma, then it's associated with something else, and you can bring in the pleasure aspects of it, so it's connected to that, so that you can help the person heal. So that's my take on it. Guys, you want to add on to? I gave you something to piggyback on.
Yeah, so honestly, I mean, it's a lot of people misunderstand what a rape fantasy or a rape play scene actually looks like. This doesn't necessarily take place in a dark alley. This doesn't necessarily take place, in the public eye. This doesn't happen, just completely spontaneously. I mean, this kind of goes down in a controlled environment. It's not built to be directly, absolutely 100% verbatim a rape scene. It's not reliving that trauma step by step. It is taking minor steps and taking bits and pieces out of these scenarios in order to cope with, something that was less traumatic in the overall event, moving on and getting up to the most traumatic part of that event. Right. And so it's just, I can see it being a coping mechanism. Somebody who's not using it for a coping mechanism, that's actually just as interesting.
It could be sadistic or masochistic in a way, because some people actually enjoy some people enjoy humiliation.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that stuff, that's giving up that power, that letting go of something selflessly like that could be considered a form of humiliation. And that's one aspect of it. Some people enjoy that stuff. And another aspect would be, I had my thoughts when I was talking.
I know, right?
He was talking.
That,
oh my gosh, I had
going, and it's like I gotta get to.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I had it. It was in my mind. I was like, oh my gosh.
On your brain fart?
Yep, I hit a major brain fart.
I have the opposite problem.
What was I talking about?
Well, even a fantasy of like rape play or something like that could be a relinquish of power. Like if you're so on in another aspect of your life and you're a very dominant, powerful woman, sometimes being taken down or just feeling vulnerable because you never feel that way is something that kind of brings you down to reality. Like you're not, it humbles you almost. So it's not necessarily, I wouldn't say humiliation, but it's like you get to feel dainty and like someone's taking advantage of you, especially if you're always in charge. So it could be liberating and kind of like therapy for somebody.
An emotional barrier, actually. You could break through an emotional barrier. So you got to really be careful with it, but you can also I guess counteract what you were saying, counterbalance, their egos.
Yes, exactly. Mm-hmm. Yep. So I've been loving this because we're actually making some really good points here, and we're all staying within our boundaries. So thank you, Mr. Kane. I know you got it.
Yeah. So my question for everybody is, what are some things that you should have in place before participating in consensual non-consent?
A safe word.
Yes. There you go. Safe word.
You notice how he jumped in on that super fast because he knew everybody else was going to say it?
Everybody was,
like, don't take my safe word.
I actually kind of thought all of us was going to say it at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
So my thing, something I would say to have in place is something to bring someone out, like a bell or something loud close by, just in case you see someone like just drift off. Because outside of the safe word, you can't control someone's mind to stop. So some kind of thing in place around to bring them back.
Yeah.
Okay. So
yeah, I can understand that.
You got something to bring them back. I'm gonna hit a couple of them. Communication, trust. There needs to be some sexual, healthy relationship with the person you are doing this with. Like, this is not something that, I would necessarily say, hey, you just met that dude, cool. Go do that. See, let's practice. See, let's do this,
This is not a Tinder opener.
Right. So it's
No.
like you need to have good communication skills. You need to have good listening skills. You know, you need to, it doesn't matter if you're the sub or the dom, you need to have good listening skills if you're going to enter this. And you really want to get all of the information as a dom, all the information from your sub, every tiny little detail of what they're okay with and what they're not, because they're about to give you this free reign. So know what the limits are.
True. And know about their history.
Yes.
Know the history.
Know
Know if they have something traumatic in their past. Like that's where Aurora said the communication comes into play. Because if you don't know these things and then you really trigger something that can really lead somebody into a spiral, it's not going to be good at all. And it's not going to be good for you or the person that you're with.
Right, exactly.
Because you don't necessarily want them to go to that place. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and we've talked about this before, and one of the points is brought up where it's like, if you're not mature enough to ask what you want for by name, you're not mature enough to enter a scene.
Yeah.
So taking maturity out of it, if you're not prepared to explain your trauma, you're not prepared to live it out in order to cope with it.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, communicate, that falls under the communication. I mean, you have to be able to talk about the traumatic event so that way your partner knows that, you know, certain signs, what to look for, what to do, what to think about, what to have on the back of their mind, do's, don'ts. Hey, this might be a terrible trigger. I might want to avoid that. So unless that's talked about, unless that's communicated, unless you have some kind of negotiations in play, that is the overall risk of entering into CNC.
And to piggyback off what you're saying, there's a lot of people who are interested in kink that may not even be versed in the kink world. You want to just try something to spice up your relationship. These things aren't just things that kinksters or BDSM practitioners do. So, of course, my little vanilla take on things, like Kane was saying, you have to be willing to open up with your partner. If you can't tell your husband what you've been through 10 years ago, then maybe this is something that you guys shouldn't try until you guys can really get to a deeper connectivity, because you guys are looking for a breakthrough, right? So make sure your barriers are super down and you're not participating for one party or the other. Just totally be transparent.
And kind of knowing yourself in that too, because I mean, you need to know what your own boundaries and limitations are as well. So I mean,
I think we kind of have in our mindset that the victim is a female. It don't necessarily have to be a female. Okay. Now you have some guys that want this fantasy from like a cougar or something like that. Like,
yeah,
should we walk around saying, oh, she could take me anytime, you know what I'm saying, type of thing. So I mean, it's a when you really have to think about it from both perspectives as well.
Oh yeah. But and that's kind of the thing that comes up though, like when you say the word rape, immediately you're going towards a victim, and usually it's female until somebody says other details. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of how you're programmed. So, but yes, I mean, it can go both ways, you know, and that fantasy can be there. And yeah. So with saying all of this, and now we know some of the steps that we need to take before like entering a CNC play scene, right? Should you, and this is actually a real question, should you have a written contract? So let's say you have a sub and they're willing to do this and they want to go into a CNC play scene and they want it, let's say it's even 24/7 or a day. Should you have a written contract?
Men, yes.
Yes, hell yeah, absolutely. That thing
For
needs to be.
all of you guys out there, get it written and signed, get it validated, get it notarized, email it to yourself.
No.
And then get them a signet ring and have them wax seal that shit with a thumbprint and blood next to it.
Blood thumbprint on it, let it drip. Stab them a little bit, like
I'm gonna
take a piece of hair.
Hearts, just so you know something. A written contract doesn't hold up in the court of law or anything. So if you wanted something where you're saying this person is saying non-consent, you know, consensual non-consent, you would have to get them to record it.
But if you have in their contract, if you have in that contract and they put in that contract My no's mean yes. And they say
But they don't
no.
hold up. They don't hold up in the like. So like if they were to take
Nah,
for a written contract, actually doesn't even matter if you get it notarized. Doesn't matter if you run it through people.
Notarized.
It does not.
I'm recording them while they sign it.
Yeah.
Video recorded.
So just something to keep in mind. But yes,
video recorded all the way through the whole play scene together.
Hold on, because I'm sure that I know Sasha has some experience with this. So this is why I'm bringing this up. You guys are thinking about it from a very protective standpoint as a
yes. Yes.
You need a written contract so that you guys have something to reference and go back to, so that you know that even let's say you're the sub. Okay, I know that none of y'all in here, sit in that position. Except for Miss Sasha, she can switch it up. Hey, and I mean, I've played in that position. So here's the thing: like, you want that written contract so that you always have that base to go back to. So, like, if there's a question, somebody's throwing the safe word, and it's like, but Article A, you said it was okay if I just grab you by the shoulders and shove you around, like you said you wanted it. Now you're saying the safe word, So it's something good.
See, but
it's a good reference point, because then if someone,
And then that's something that you can always go back to and tailor. If you guys got good communication skills between the two of you, you can go back and tailor it. You know what I'm saying? And
everybody, see, you gotta remember, we're human. We have emotions. We have feelings. Feelings change about certain things after a second. Like, you know what? I don't like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, things change. And when it comes to trying to refer back to Article A, section let me tell you, you're just doing that for yourself.
No, actually, no. Okay,
I'm saying, what I'm saying is you're doing that.
It depends on the situation. If it's a bratty sub, that's exactly what you would do to kind of bring it back in.
For brat, yeah, it depends on the person. It depends on who it is that you, because I'm not gonna, I mean, there's no point. Why am I going back? You already said the safe word. Cool. All right, that's it. I'm done.
Oh yeah, but you still need to address it. Hopefully you're having
no need to
conversation afterwards.
If we're gonna start again, I'm gonna try and pull it back in because it's still part of Article A.
Okay, so that's what we don't do.
Hey, if you're not liking it the second time around, we gonna put a line through Article A, you know what I mean, and put your initial there, because that is not correct.
Those articles are in place to kind of re-reference.
Yeah, Sasha's talking.
Hold on, wait, what?
It's those points are just laid out to like Aurora said, to re-reference, just in case, like, God forbid, that brought up something in that person and they got off kilter. So it's like, hey, why when I did this, blah blah. I'm like, girl, because that happened when such and such. So it almost is like a digression. So if you happen to have cool down or go over the situation afterwards, then it's like, well, yeah, you said that was cool until it happened. Like, what was the build up to, the miscommunication there, or the disconnect?
That's why I think recording it would be really good. Only because you can kind of watch it back and see where you may have went wrong, or where it started to get worse, or you know what I mean? So even the sub or the person, I'm just gonna say the person, whomever it is going through, and if they get triggered, well, where did they get triggered at? And how did it lead up to that trigger? Maybe if you didn't go A, B, C and you went B, C, A, it would have been different. You know what I mean? Like, it might have been a little too close to the scenario.
Right. And so that's why I said it's always good to have a reference point and have a written contract, at least just for your own self-knowledge and knowing what's going on, your boundaries, the person's boundaries. You don't want to screw that up, So like, have something there that you can always at least go back to. So yeah, that's my take on that. So
all right.
I just wasn't gonna say anything.
I know, I'm just watching Kane's face. He's sitting up in the corner just.
Nope, we're good. All right.
We obviously have different contracts.
Yes. All right. Is this me now? Me?
Yeah,
it's on me.
Yep.
It's on me.
It's on you, sir.
What kind of relationship should you have to practice Wait, we talked about this already.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna talk about it again. So here's
Oh,
yeah, just go ahead, bring it
all
up.
right, okay. I mean, I think we already hit this topic, but okay. What kind of relationship should you practice? Should you have to practice CNC? Like, could you have a one night stand and still practice CNC?
And see, and that's exactly why
That's a tough question.
Yeah, that's exactly why we asked.
That's a tough question.
So,
I
wouldn't recommend it.
I want Mr. Marcos to speak on it.
I know.
Yeah.
Explain to us why. Why wouldn't you recommend it?
Well, because it's a one night stand. I mean, this is totally based on communication, trust, negotiation, and you're not getting all of that through text message or even a phone call. I don't care if you video chat. You know, it's like that needs to be an in-person group meeting, and boundaries need to be completely laid out in person before entering into this. I mean, like, you just can't get trust with somebody over a phone call, you know? So, and if you're setting up a one night stand, then I wouldn't necessarily call it a one night stand if you're taking that much effort to work up to it. I mean, because that's not something that's going to get explained in one or even two conversations. So.
Okay, well, what if they were someone you knew?
Yeah, because you could have someone you know and do a one night stand. I didn't think of it like that.
Mm-hmm.
We're losing
somebody you know. It's not a one night stand.
Someone who,
yeah.
Just because, well, it could be a one situation thing.
Like, yeah, it could be a one time thing, but that's not a one night stand. One night stand involves a stranger.
Yeah.
Wait. What did Jada Pinkett call it?
Yeah, for a situationship.
No, it wasn't. Was it a situation? No,
entanglement.
Yeah.
She said situationship.
She said situationship.
No. I got it. It was an entanglement.
Oh, entanglement. Yeah, that's it. Entanglement. Yep.
Yeah.
That needs to be a safe word one of these times.
Entanglement.
Okay, we're gonna lighten it up just a little bit.
But you know what? This is off topic, but Will Smith didn't ask the right questions. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but we don't want Will Smith reaching out. Well, you know what? Actually, Will Smith reach out.
Yeah, for real. We give you all the questions to ask.
Right. So
they get you right.
So we had the question of, so one night stands, great. So what kind of relationship though should you be looking for to practice this? You know, like let's give our viewers something like, okay, so like let's just say, okay, one night stands are off the table, right? So when should they?
Me, yeah.
You know, honestly, I'd say the longer you know,
it's all about trust. It's all about trust.
Yeah. Okay, what were you gonna say, Kay?
I'll say the longer you've known the person, the better. I mean, the better you are at communicating, the more trust you have in that person, you know, the better. So,
right. What do you think, Sasha?
I wouldn't want to ruin that relationship. No, I ain't doing it.
What do you think?
It's something to not even venture into in a new situation. I wouldn't recommend, just because in a new situation, especially if you happen to be vanilla and this is something you're thinking about, I think it can be taken out of context and just practiced the wrong way. So like Kane was saying, like that deeper communication, that vetted relationship kind of helps being more open and honest about it, not just pleasing somebody.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree with all those points. I mean, you really need to have trust, communication, all of that. I just think that you need to have a healthy sexual relationship, because you can have all the trust, communication in the world with someone, but if it's not a healthy sexual relationship, you should not be entering CNC. The consensual non-consent is not the way to go, because
no, that's not for play.
That are happening, and those need to get worked through first, or find someone new to do that play scene with. You know,
it's not for play.
Yeah.
That's that.
I mean,
like
we're touching on this because we're coming up to some other information, and so this is kind of just a segue into it.
I like how Kane said it. It's a form of extreme play.
Yeah.
This is now you have some people that just play in extreme play all day, every day.
And that's
if you're
basic stuff.
And if you're good at it and you know what you're doing, I mean, by all means.
Yep.
Word.
And I think,
Some people are badass at bowling. I ain't jumping in.
yeah. What were you saying, Sasha?
So we talked about a bunch of like serious topics and like does CNC really need to be this serious? So there's so many serious aspects in it. Sorry, I don't have my glasses.
It doesn't.
It sounds
doesn't
like
have.
So, I mean, no, I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be that serious. Here's the deal, like negotiation process, that should be serious. Your communication beforehand should be serious. But ultimately it's role playing. Like I was saying earlier, it's role playing. So, I mean, there needs to be some kind of fun to it. Like, hello, be fun.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That whole, burglar coming in the house, that's popular. Like that's people know that. They know that. You know what I mean? So that and it's fun and it's not serious. It's not something that we would consider like, oh, we drafted a whole document for this. It was like, oh, hey, one day, you come in a little early from work and I happen to be in the shower, and you know. You make it do what it do.
So yeah, I mean, I think it should still have an element of fun. What do you think, Kane?
I think if you shouldn't enter this unless it's to have fun.
Right.
Like this isn't something that, I don't know, it's not for the faint of heart, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you definitely want to know what you're doing. If you're using it for a coping mechanism, then obviously there's going to be some different rules in play.
Right.
But for the most part, I mean, if you're practicing this out of sheer curiosity, and you've done your research, this should be fun. This should be exciting. It should be a learning experience. Your first time might not go over so great, but use it to make the second time, the third, the fourth time better.
Right. Exactly.
What Meek Mill said, there's levels to this.
That's exactly.
Yeah, there's levels to it. You stay on the lower rung, okay? All right.
So, I mean, yeah, just have fun. Like, don't lose that element of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So with all that being said, to wrap up all of the questions, and kind of bring it towards a conclusion, what does the aftercare of a CNC scene look like?
I want Sasha to take this one. I know you got some information for us, mamas.
Come on, Sasha.
Audio.
This is all. This is your ballpark.
Yep.
Knock it out the park. Bring us home.
Please don't be wrong.
I would say just the tenderness. Huh? What?
Oh no, it lags. You're good. Just
You're good. Go.
Can you hear us?
It's like broadcasting news in the 90s.
The other person's experience and making sure everyone had a good time.
Yeah, definitely. So aftercare, I think, looks a little bit differently, and I mean, definitely that's what you want to do, especially if you've played out some stuff that was maybe more therapeutic. So
aftercare is gonna have to be very communicative, and very attentive, and try and get in some real eye contact to know that, hey, are you okay? You know what I mean?
Not always.
Hey, King, is it top?
No, I'm busting out the seams here.
But you do have to like understand that when somebody say they okay, not all the time are they okay.
Right. Okay. Well, okay, you up in the corner itching. What's up?
No, so I mean, if you're, like I said, there's, like you said, there's levels to this shit. So there's either going to be one or the other. You're either going to crave attention, you're either going to crave that security, or you're going to want solitude because you relived through a trauma. You suffered a traumatic event. Right. You don't want to be up in the face of that person and have them further associate this trauma with your image and make it into something that doesn't work out in the future. So aftercare, I think, has to be carefully negotiated just as much as the actual play scene, because afterwards it's, hey, do I need to be here or do you need some space?
Right.
And if they need you to be there, be prepared to be there for all of 2 minutes before they're like, okay, now I need some space.
Well, and here's the other piece of this. Here's the flip side of this is that you don't know. Let's say that we're playing in that rape fantasy, okay, or something that's traumatic along the lines of consensual non-consent, but it's a little bit traumatic, okay. That person could have an adverse effect afterwards. They could act completely different from what they did when, in a normal play scene. And you, as the Dom, have to roll with it.
Have to recognize it too.
Sometimes the sub won't even communicate it to you because they don't know that this is going to cause like an issue where they actually feel like they've been abused, because it's that whole, I like it and I want it, but I don't want it and I don't like it. Like I shouldn't like it, And so there's a lot of confusion that can happen, especially on the first go around with CNC. There's a lot of confusion that can happen. And as the Dom, you need to be able to be there or step away. And I really want to stress this because there's just been a lot of things that I've seen within the community. Be there one way or the other. If you're taking that role as a Dom and you're taking that person's, consent into your own hands, be there for the aftercare, whatever it is that person's needing from you, because hello, we just were in a play scene together,
I don't care if the person needs space. I'm gonna be like 6 feet away, like COVID-19.
Right, and that's what it takes. You give them their space, but you are still there, and you're making sure that this person is okay, that they're working through it, that they're going to come out on the other side. Because sometimes, they may have not have even had a traumatic experience. They go into this whole of giving up power. Even I've seen it happen where somebody just completely falls apart, and they can't even figure out why they're falling apart. So your job as the person that's there supporting them, being in this play scene with them, is to then sit, at a distance and slowly try and go, okay, can we work through this? Can we talk? No, we're not ready. Because your job is to make sure that they don't stay in that, because you played in it in a play scene, So.
Yeah. But again, make it fun. Try and make it fun if you can. You know what I mean?
And a lot of times it's a ton of fun. And these are just like scenarios of where it could go. And so you just need to be aware of them. But it's a fantasy, it's a role play, it's a fetish. Aggression is a thing. Primal, a lot of people like to call it that. So, have fun with it. Honestly. So we are going to play a game and then wrap this up. Okay. So I sent everybody the game to their second device.
Oh yeah.
Sasha, if you are having an issue, I'm reading them out loud, and so then you can just tell me which one it is, okay? Because we're all gonna read our answers anyways. I saw it. I got you. I got your back, mama. Okay. And it's fine. So, and then give me a second. I'm gonna pull it up. So this game. Huh?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Okay. So this game is called How Much Random Sexual Kink Knowledge Do You Have? Okay. So here's how it works. I'm going to give you a name of a kink, and your job is to choose the correct definition of it. Now, it's on the phone. Okay. It's on the phone. See this? Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Okay. So we're going to click on it, and Ms. Sasha's going to say it out loud, so she ain't even going to be able to cheat. We're going to click on it, and y'all better freaking click and pop out. Right there. What?
Wait, so are we taking this as a group? Are we all sharing our answers? Is it individual answers?
You can just say you're right or wrong. Okay. So I'll read through I'll read the name of whatever it is, the vocab name, and then I'll read the multiple choice. And then we should just pick. You know what I'm saying? We can just say it out loud, even if you want to.
All right.
Ready?
Cool.
Gotcha.
Okay. So, and actually I'm going to kick the first one off to you. You read the words and read the words and the answers.
Voluntold.
Yeah. Then we'll switch. So the first one.
Masochism.
There we go. And then what are the questions? The prompts.
So any sexual practice involving fires, sexual attraction to someone with very masculine traits, or getting sexual pleasure from one's own pain or humiliation.
Ding, ding, ding.
I'm picking. Okay, and Sasha, which one? 3? Yep. So show it.
Yeah.
Show that it's green.
Yeah.
I think you cheated. You waited way too long to bring it up to the screen.
That's what I asked. Are we taking this all as one? Are we doing our own individual answers? Are we?
All right. Ready? I want to say this one. Pegging.
Why do you want to say that one?
I don't know. Just
She
'cause-
loves that.
okay, yeah, because it makes Remy cringe. She goes. So woman
Hey,
on
it
man,
doesn't bother me at all.
woman on man, anal sex. Is man penetrates a male with a strap on. When someone gets sexual pleasure by being stepped on by someone who is wearing boots, or sex that is only done in a standing position from start to finish. Okay, you got it right. One. Yep. One.
Yeah.
Okay, so see, we're doing good. We're
You
doing
read the
good.
definitions and then that made me know because I've heard that term before, but I didn't know what it was until we went through the definitions.
Nice.
So yes, ma'am.
Nice,
Eye-opening.
you got it. There you go. All right, Mr. Rem, what's our next word?
Electrostimulation. Sexual arousal to technology that uses great amounts of electricity. Sexual arousal caused by starting electric shocks, putting a fork in a toaster. Electrical arousal of the nerves with emphasis on the genitals. Electrostimulation.
Do you need those definitions written again? Okay, so you have one. Okay,
Mhm.
I got it right. So the correct answer, you ready?
What'd you get, Remy? What'd you
What'd you
say?
get, Remy?
Nope.
What'd you
Sexual
say?
arousal of technology.
Remy?
I read that wrong in my mind.
Okay, so
I thought it was more than
Sasha
just the
picked sexual
genitals.
arousal to technology that uses great amount of electricity. That's wrong. The
I
answer,
electrocute people. Boy.
electric arousal of the nerves with emphasis on the genitals.
Why would a kink be to stick a fork in a
don't-
toaster?
But I don't start with the genitals though.
Well, no, but it's an electric arousal of the nerves. That's what the violet wand is about, you know? Now,
Yeah.
you don't use it directly on the genitals, you can, but you start at other places, you know?
Mm.
Okay, so Mr. Kane, you got the next word. You're gonna laugh too, Sasha, when he says the word. He's having a hard time here.
Good.
No,
Good.
I'm confused at how the turn-based worked. So the next
Right.
one is cuckolding.
Cuckolding. Okay.
So
go ahead and read.
when someone is tied up while being spanked by another
What our
person.
dog is doing right now.
Okay, so wait, read that one again.
When someone is tied up while being spanked by another person.
Okay.
When someone gets aroused watching their romantic partner have sex with another person.
Mm.
Sex that involves a lot of spitting into each other's mouths.
Oh. Okay.
That sounds fun.
So 1, 2, or 3, Sasha. You want me to read them again? Okay, so I'm gonna read them again. When someone is tied up while being spanked by another person, when someone gets aroused watching the romantic partner have sex with another person, or sex that involves a lot of spitting into each other's mouths. 2. Okay. Yeah, so you're right. So that's the answer. Because we already saw Remy got it right.
I said 3 to begin with,
It's the
but I
spitting
think I
into
missed
somebody's
that when my
mouth.
dog came to give me a kiss.
Yeah, no, it's not that one. Yeah, that's why I was like, you want me to reread it?
It's like, no. I just threw a
Okay.
number up and I was like,
I am
spitting?
gonna
No,
have-
we're not doing that.
So let me take the next one.
Yeah,
Or
you take the next one. I'm like, no.
all right. Gerontophilia.
Ophelia, there we go.
A sexual fetish for stuffed animals. A sexual fetish for the elderly. Sexual arousal from thunder and lightning.
Oh.
Gerontophilia.
frightening me.
Wait. So the word is
Gerontophilia.
gerontophilia. Ooh, okay, so the answers are okay. Sasha, the answers are so that you have them: a sexual fetish for stuffed animals, a sexual fetish for the elderly, or sexual arousal from thunder.
I got it correct.
Yeah.
Huh?
I got it correct from the door. I knew it.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
2.
Okay, so I just got it right. Yeah, you got it right too. so yeah, so a sexual fetish for the elderly. I was like guessing on that one, but okay.
Geriatric.
Yeah, that's what
Gerontophilia.
I was going off of was the root
Mm-hmm.
word.
It sounded about right.
All right. Here's the next one. Claustrophilia. Sexual arousal from the act of tickling someone's feet. Sexual arousal to someone wearing high heels. Sexual arousal from being confined in small enclosed spaces. Claustrophilia.
Tres.
Yep. Bam. Green. Yep, we're getting them. All right. Oh, this should be an easy one because this was touched on. Go ahead, Kane, take this one.
Klismophilia. Being sexually pleasured solely from the sound of someone's voice. Sexual arousal from enemas. A fetish where one enjoys having all of their bodily holes filled at one time.
I got mine correct.
What was the word again?
Klismophilia.
Can you use it in a sentence?
Yes, use it in a sentence, Kane.
3.
Nope, 3 wasn't it. It's 2, and it's the sexual arousal from enemas. Klismophilia. And see, like you didn't have the upper hand. He used it in a hot topic, but I don't think you were here for that hot topic. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm glad I did mine.
Now that I heard it again,
Remy, this is
my audio was cutting out.
All right. I got it.
Okay, and yeah, no, it's Remy because you just did Klismophilia. Okay, go ahead.
All right. Chirophilia.
Chirophilia?
Chirophilia.
Okay, so look, this is
Sexual arousal.
Okay.
Sexual arousal to hands. Sexual arousal to knees. Sexual arousal to noses.
Oh, I got it wrong.
Yeah, so did I. We had a different definition of that.
Yeah. Okay, so like that's what I thought it was too. Sexual arousal to noses.
Yeah.
Sexual arousal.
I did that too.
Hands. Yeah.
I did
See?
noses.
We all got it wrong.
Oh,
Wait, hold up. Now I want to look that word up. I think this is wrong.
No, but at first I thought it was hands. I was gonna say hands, but I was like, I don't know why I feel like noses is correct.
Right. I was doing the same thing. Probably.
I feel like I've yeah, we might have to check this out. They might have got their information from Wikipedia.
I'm saying.
Yeah, because we discussed that one time about sexual arousal to hands.
And that's hands. Yeah. I was like, wait a second. Okay. So stuffing.
Boo, you had the easy words.
Damn you! You gave him all the easy ones.
Sexual attraction for status. Oh no, statues. Sorry. Statues, dolls, and mannequins that resemble humans. Sex that involves fitting one's fist down another person's anus. Sexual arousal from eating or being forced to eat until the point of physical pain. Stuffing.
3.
It's not the 3 all bodily holes filled answer.
You just gonna
You
keep
would want it to be
feeding.
that answer, Kate. What is wrong with you?
You just kept feeding me.
You remember that old Method Man and Raekwon joint? It was like, I'm gonna sew your anus shut.
Yep.
And just keep feeding you and feeding you and feeding you.
Okay, so you picked what number did you pick?
Oh, 3.
3? Okay, yeah.
I think I picked 2.
Oh, you picked 2?
Boo.
3. I did pick 3.
Yeah, I thought you picked 3. Yeah.
I went with
arousal
mannequins,
or being-
statues, dolls.
being forced to eat.
I
It was
just
2 or
wanted to be
3. I know I
different.
was wrong.
All right, so
I just wanted to do something different because it sound
Mr. Kane.
people like teddy bears and stuff.
Europhilia.
Oh, that's Europeans. They like, Europeans.
Europhilia.
Oh,
Sexual arousal caused by seeing someone in a uniform. Sexual
that
arousal
is
to
a
robots
good
or
thing.
using a robot in sexual practices. Sexual pleasure from thoughts or actions associated with urination. Just guess.
Yeah. Yep, you got it. 3.
Yeah.
Because it's in the root word. So sexual pleasure, thoughts or actions associated with urination.
Oh, this one we discussed.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Hematolagnia.
Good job.
That was good.
Come on now. What? This is me here. Did y'all ever doubt me? Like,
Yes. Twice.
Honestly, yes.
And the third time right before you said it.
Hence the reason I'm saying good job, boo boo.
you shouldn't doubt me. You know.
Now I'm doubting myself that I heard you right.
I was
like that's how deep the doubt goes.
I was a spelling bee king. Like I know this.
Okay.
All right. So the answers are a sexual fetish for blood, which evokes arousal when it's when it's on the partner's nude body.
Right.
Sexual arousal caused by the foul odors and smells of the body. Sexual arousal to licking eyeballs.
1. Okay.
Hematolagnia.
Yep. You got it right. 1. So the answer is a sexual fetish for blood, which evokes arousal when it's on the partner's nude body.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it's me, right? Spectrophilia. And we talked about this one too. Kim be giving us some words, man. See, we can play this game all day because of
We
Kim.
talked about this.
Sexual gratification from sex in public. Sexual attraction to ghosts or alleged encounters with ghosts. Sexual arousal to sharp items such as needles, pins, and razors.
I wonder what that'd look like.
What was the word again?
Spectrophilia. 3. Sexual arousal to sharp items such as needles, pins, and razors.
No.
Okay, yeah, no. This is the answer here. It was 2, and it's sexual
I'm a
attraction
ghost.
or alleged encounters with ghosts. Remember, that's when you had your mic drop. I'm not live. That was a live. You had your mic drop, girl.
I'm a ghost.
I totally forgot.
Right? All right. So what was your overall? What was your overall percentage?
100.
No, it wasn't. You missed. No. Okay, I'm gonna show y'all mine.
Mine was 77.
77.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
9 out of 12.
9 out of 12. What? Wait. So tell me. What is
Kink
your
queen?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I got 11 out of 12.
KWEEN.
Yeah. I got a 98%, 11 out of 12.
Wait, I just want to show you my little my video.
Yeah, I know. That's what I got too.
That I got with mine. Yeah.
So what I got was so me and I both got the same thing, which is Kink Queen, which is spelled KWEEN, just so that Mr. Remy, we get that clear. Whether you know them from firsthand experience or just because you've consumed a lot of information, you have a lot of kink knowledge. Go forth and share what you know because all knowledge is power. Did you get something different, Kane? Did you get kink?
Nope, I got the exact same thing you did.
So see, like that
boo.
general.
It's probably anything over like a 70 is that, you know what I'm saying?
But here's the thing. I'm really proud of our little baby Dom down here on the bottom corner. Okay, because she came in and she was doing the dang thing with the dang questions. She was guessing. So our little vanilla baby over here making some really good headway.
Yay!
So, and I'm proud of you guys for taking the test. Thank you.
Good job, guys.
You're welcome.
No. 77%. What the heck, man?
Surprise.
I got 100.
All right, so that's all we have for today. Kane, you want to take us out? I know this was a really serious one, but we tried to bring you guys a game.
Yeah, do the Russell Simmons. God bless and good. Go ahead. You got it.
Right. Oh,
you want the outros? You getting jealous? I mean, you do the intro, you want the outro too?
Negative Ghost Rider. You got this. I do not want it.
Well, and here's
do me a favor, sit there and let daddy work.
Stop it. Stop it.
Okay, wait, real quick before you close us out. Let's just all take a real quick second and say hi to someone because we forgot to do it at the beginning. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hi, Roy.
Hey, Roy.
Hi.
It's Hey Roy. Hey Roy.
Hey, Roy. Hey, Roy.
I like Hey Roy. Hey Roy sound way better than Hi Roy, right?
Oh, okay. All right. Hey, Roy. Hi,
More
Roy.
personal.
I mean, unless you Hi Roy, you know what I'm saying?
Hi, Roy.
Don't forget our boy Stu out there. If he's not watching tonight, I'm pretty sure he'd like to get the shout out even when he watches tomorrow.
Yes,
So
sir.
Exactly.
thank you to that gentleman and everything that he's helping out with. Thank you, Roy, for being a avid supporter and
Blue.
always being there. And thank you to everybody else for liking, subscribing, coming to join us every Friday night. We try to bring you guys some information. We try to bring you guys, some kink related topics in a fun and kind of just learning environment that we can all grow together in. So from all of us here at SafeWord, we appreciate you. We love you. We hope to hear from you guys again soon. And as always, stay kinky and remember your safe word. Good night.
And we